So we're going to demonstrate some trunk mobility and flexibility and stretching activities, because trunk mobility is very important for anybody with an individual stroke or neurologic disorders, and it's common Parkinson's disease to have a lot of rigidity in the trunk. So we're going to talk about some stretching and mobility for the trunk specifically. So we're going to first start with stretching out the anterior chest and also getting some shoulder range of motion. So for this, it's best typically to have both knees bent up. So go ahead and bend both knees up. So that kind of just takes some stress off the low back, flattens the low back. And we're going to work on some stretching, okay? So one of the things we can do is just first of all work on making sure our pectoralis minor is somewhat stretched out. So first of all, I'm going to take this pillow, I'm going to turn it this direction and go ahead and relax there, and just have your hands like this on your hips there. I'm looking at your shoulders here to see how far they are away for your chromium processes from the table itself, from the mat. If I need to here, if I notice there's a lot of gap there, I can come in here and just actually provide some downward pressure and kind of rotate the scapulas back and press down with the heel of my hand kind of at the coracoid process where the pec minor attaches, and try to push it back. Oftentimes it helps accentuate the stretch is to place a towel roll in the middle of their back lengthwise right between the shoulder blades, and gives you a better ability to do that. So I'll hold that 30 to 60 seconds, repeat that a couple times for pec minor. Okay? And then next thing we're going to do, keeping our pillow in this direction to impact your hands, we're going to do some different positions with your arms. Well, so first of all, let's just turn your arms out to the side, externally rotate them like this. Good, and just this kind of cross or T position like this. This is going to stretch more, we call the clavicular head of the pec major, because we're in line with those fibers, and we're going to hold that position and just have the person just relax and take some nice deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and as you relax, just kind of let those arms melt into the table. Maybe it's pretend there's a big magnet pulling your arms into that table. Okay? Once we've done that for a minute, you're going to go ahead and bend your elbows into this position, and you're going to let your arms rotate back like this to this position. So now we're going to get some stretch of the internal rotators. So we're stretching into external rotation. Very, very critical here. Sometimes the individual might be kind of hanging out up here if they're really tight. I might put a little pillow just to support it, but enough that they can still release into that pillow or soft support, so they're not just hanging out there in space. Okay? That's another position. So then another position I'll have them is let's just go ahead and go part way up into this position like this, and do a little more flexion of the shoulders. Now we're in line with the sternal head of the pec. So we're getting a little more of a stretch of the sternal head of the pec here. Actually, let's just go ahead and, if you can, if they're able to, they can put their hands behind their head, and that really, and have them drop those elbows. But some patients can't get into that position. Okay. And lastly, we're just going to reach up as far over your head as possible, and if they can, make sure there's no impingement there. This is going to stretch lats. This is a good lat stretch. Okay. So after we spent 30 to 60 seconds in each of those positions, that's a good chest opener. We're just going to now work on some lower trunk rotation. Is another critical area in the trunk. So Rachel, we're going to start by just keeping your knees together here, and we're just going to kind of start by rocking your hips side to side. Just start loosening up that, just kind of lubricating that lower back here. Good. Once we've done that 10 to 20 times, we're going to go ahead and take some pauses. We're going to go this direction, and if I need to, I can stabilize at the rib cage is usually a place I'll stabilize until they feel a stretch through their low back and through their trunk, non-painful, and then we can hold it there, but I'm giving them some support so they can relax while they're doing this. They're not just using their abs to hold themselves in that position. And then we can come back this direction, and a lot of times I'll let them lay and kind of on my thigh here, so they feel like they've got some support here as they're stretching the other direction. Okay, and then as they feel comfortable and I feel comfortable, I can drop my leg further, and I can provide a stretch through the thigh, and I can counter rotation of the trunk and through the lower ribs here and provide a really good stretch there, encouraging good diaphragmatic breathing the whole time. And as they breathe out, I often accentuate the stretch to tolerance. If you want that stretch to be even more, have them turn their head to the opposite side and also bring their arm out to that opposite side. Good. And that'll provide even a little more counter rotation throughout the entire spine.